show you what I'm doing here. This is I'm spraying some gasket spray on here for these gaskets on these motors I'm going to repair. And I want to show you why I do it. Okay, I already did this side, but let me show you here. You can see it's some Permatex spray gasket sealant. Now the reason for this, in the past, the customer would buy new motors, put them on, and then these gaskets would blow out. Okay, and so from the factory they don't have this on there. So we're going to put this on here. It just seems to help. Because what happens, there's a braking system and these motors will stop really fast. And it has a case drain on it, but the case drain is tied into the return line. So what happens that it stops really hard, and then the weakest spot is the gasket. So we'd get these brand new motors, and they'd have blown gaskets, and then they'd leak all over the floor. So we started doing this, and the factory doesn't do it, but we do. Once we did this, we started to see that they didn't have that problem anymore. So you want to do this for a good reason. So you just kind of double coat them, let that get tacky, and then we'll put them on the motors. Okay, so we'll let that dry up. I'll show you what's going on over here. Come over here now. I got these motors sitting here. Okay, so I've already, the valve plates, you can see I've already put them on the lapping table, and they're flattened out. Same thing with the cylinder. You put this on the lapping table and make it perfectly flat. Okay, so I'll put this one together. Now inside here there's a little retaining ring. You have 4 of these little pins. Okay, and you have a little bearing that sits on top right here. Okay, then you take your rotating groove. You're going to slide this in here. You can kind of see how that works. This thing's a little, it can float around here when it turns. Okay. So get that like that. Take this thing, housing. Okay, you don't want to make sure that's always in there. That's what the shoes ride on. Okay, what you can do here, stop that from happening, is take a little bit of grease, use it as a glue, and set it in there, and then put your wear plate in there, and that way it won't fall down. Okay, you're going to take this like this, push it up in there, lock it in, boom. Okay, so take the rear cap, and I'll put a little grease on this to help it stay in there. This is more or less just to kind of glue it in there so it doesn't fall out. Clean that off. Then I put another layer of grease on here between the valve plate and the cylinder block. That way I won't mar it up. And I'm going to put a little on this. Now we are going to test these after I get them together. I'm just trying to show you here. To do these right, you need to have a lapping table. We have a very expensive one that came from Germany. You want these surfaces perfectly flat. Okay, now get this clean real good before we put the gasket on. Okay, taking these gaskets. Okay, yeah. Set it on there. There's a couple locating pins. This goes on a certain way. Set it down on there. Do the other one. Now, to make this easier, get this locating pin out of here. Here, hold this gasket. I don't want this gasket to shift. Hold on a second. Put this thing down in here. This little spring-loaded locator. Shouldn't have laid it down a little bit when I took it out. Okay. Okay, so now you can see now it's ready to set on there. You have the gasket on. It goes a certain way with the locating pins. Same thing. Just right. Then you're going to take now. You don't want to impact these things on because what happens if you hit them with an impact, it will smash that paper gasket and then it'll break it and push it out. So these, we will use the impact, we'll lightly drop them on here and then we'll come back with a torque wrench and torque these down. I'm going to have to look up the specs on it. And we want it evenly torqued around that gasket. Like I said, the factory does it. And they put them on and they blow that gasket out and it leaks oil all over the floor. So I just wanted to show you that. It was mostly about the gaskets. So I'll sink them down. I won't hammer it, and then I'll come back with a torque wrench and I'll torque it this way. It's perfect all around there. So that'll do it for this one.